So this is Crepuscle. Crepuscle? Not sure how to pronounce it, but it is an amazing lilac. It's out of production, so what I've done is I've taken cuttings, probably about 20 or 30, and preparing them for rooting in a rooting mixture and rooting hormone. So I get a nice cut off of new growth, something like this that has at least 5 growth nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and taking off the leaves in the center, the middle sections, and then I leave 2 sets on top. And this is straight out of the book, so it's all an experiment for me. I'm not really sure how this is going to work, if it's going to work. I've had some success in the past, limited, with certain varieties that are not quite so hybridized. But this, it's got all the right stuff to work, so we'll see. This is an area that I want to scratch to create a place for the roots to grow, and I'm going to go between these 2 growth nodes. Just below this one here, there's more distance between the growth node and the end of the cutting. I don't want to use this one because it's too close to the end, so I'm going to use the next one up. You can see that. And I'm going to take my little knife and just create some places for roots to grow. I'm going to go beneath the cambium, just slightly get under there, lift some of the epidermis, and he'll be able to take a good amount of rooting hormone so that it'll grow roots right from there. I've reduced the leaf load here. This is the only way that it'll get water when it's in the misters, because it won't have any roots yet. So we've reduced the size of the leaf square inches so that they're not taking up so much room and there's not so much load on this little stem, but there's enough so that it'll absorb enough water to feed this root that's coming on. So we got another one. This is perfect too. This is 1. There's 1 growth node here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actually, if you count the top. It's perfect. Nice woody stem. Very woody. That's why we need number 8 Hormex, because it's so woody. I had been using a 3 before, and that was woefully too small, too low of a number. The potency wasn't enough to get them to root. Only some of the very, I don't know, there were a few different varieties that would root with that number 3, but probably not these. These are very woody. And this one is got a nice growth node about a ½ inch from the end, so I'm going to use that one to scuff it up a little. And then that's ready. I'm going to stick it in the bucket of water. This one doesn't quite have 5, it only has 4. So I'm going to take off all except the top one. And then these I'm going to cut to half their square area. Got a little growth node there. So yeah, this one's very close to the end again, so I'm going to go to the next one. You can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, so I'm going to go to the next one down and scuff up this area here. Yeah. And hopefully you get little trees out of these. Little tiny trees. I noticed that the mother bush wasn't doing very well this year. There were some dead areas I've got to trim out, prune, and there were, I don't know, just kind of looking like there wasn't a lot of new growth. So I got concerned I'm going to need to revitalize that plant, but I'm hoping to get some cuttings off of it in case it does perish over the winter, and hopefully these will root. So I've reduced the top load, square area, and we've got lots of growth nodes here. Between this one and this one, it's very nice and woody, very strong stem. I'm going to rough that up a little. I'm just making some vertical cuts on the stem. They're kind of like scales I'm making. If you can see that, it's hard to see. But I'm taking my knife and I'm cutting down this way and making like little flaps that don't go very far away from the stem, but are still nonetheless an opening for the rooting hormone to get in, and that will hopefully make some roots. Yeah, these are nice. They look nice to me. We'll see. It's all an experiment. Oh gosh, in the past I've had maybe 20% take, which is pretty good, not too bad. But then over the winter, that's been the problem. Getting them to winter over, it's a mysterious thing to me. Some people say you gotta water them over the winter, even though they're frozen solid. You wanna water them once a month. If there's no snow cover, I guess if there's snow cover, they have enough. I don't know. Anyway, these are nice. These are good looking growth nodes right here. And there's at least ½ inch to the end of the stem. So I'm going to rough it up right in here on all sides of this stem. Create some vertical flaps, if you will. Kind of like flaps. Although we don't bend them back. We just leave them like scales on a fish. There we go. You can barely see that I roughed it up, but I did. And here's the last one. This one has a great number of growth nodes. These are really healthy looking specimens. I took the best ones I could find without taking all of the tree's new growth. It's, you know, I only took a fraction, a very small fraction. Yeah, 1/32, 1/16 of the new growth on top of the tree. I try to get from the very top because I just have a theory, and I've read somewhere as well that there's more of oomph or growth hormone in the top portion of the tree. So that's where I took these cuttings. And I'm going to rough up that little end. Looks promising. These are very woody. I probably waited too long, but I wanted them to be really strong stems. In the past, I've used them very early, and they've been flimsy and floppy, and a lot of them will rot off because they're bending over and not maintaining their structure. But these are good and strong. The book says to, you know, have something that resembles a pencil as a cutting, and this is as good as I could get. So now I've got, I'll show you what I have. I have a bucket with all the little cuttings in it. And I'm going to take these over here. And this is just a mix of perlite and water. And I'm going to make holes with my trusty hole maker. Oh, this is wet. So, I mean, it needs to be wet. And it's too dry. So I'm going to spray this down. And then I'm going to get to sticking these cuttings.